Hi, Mom.
Hi, Duncan.
What's it like having me as a son?
It is a joy having you as a son.
That kind of brings us to the idea to something that you have been dealing with for 4 years now, which is that you have stage 4 bone cancer,
Metastatic breast cancer.
metastatic breast cancer. And this is an extreme version of a tornado knocking a house down, because 4 years ago you called to tell us that you had 6 months to live.
I have been told that at least a dozen times.
A dozen times that you've had 6 months to live.
I have been told to call a crematorium and find out how much it would cost to be cremated, because I had maybe a month or 6 weeks, and that I needed to know that so that I could pay the money up front before I died. And I have made the call to the crematorium, and I found out that it was $750. Thank you very much. If you look at the world, what you see is things appearing and disappearing. And humans are a part of the whole of that. And humans appear and they disappear off the face of the earth. That just happens. You know, our egos personalize it, and we consider ourselves special cases.
Yes.
But we're really not. You know, we are part of the whole, and everything in the whole transforms all the time. Changes form, transfigures.
You're a special case.
It's because I'm your mama.
No, I know this transfigure. I know, but come on. There's no way to stop the heartbreak. What do you do about that?
You cry. You cry.
It's really hard. But it's definitely something everyone's got to, deal with.
Yeah.
And it's such a strange thing. I mean, the universe, it seems so stable.
Mm-hmm.
If you are, in this kind of automatic state.
Mm-hmm.
And the encounter with truth, which for me, you're dying, this thing has been probably the greatest run-in with truth that I've had in my whole life. I mean, you can't really... It's inexpressible.
Yeah.
But it's not like it makes you feel... This is not a feeling of this is not a desirable feeling.
No.
But it's a feeling that every single human being will experience, one way or the other.
It is.
But so many of us are spending so much time engaged in just ridiculous activities, it seems like, just to try to avoid this experience.
Exactly. People really try to avoid the consideration that they are going to die and the people they love are going to die.
But it seems like that Oriental rug that we're talking about there, that is the key to everything.
Yes.
As terrible a key as that is, it feels like once you realize that, it's so hard to be closed off. Why would you be like that?
Why would you close off? Yes. Right. So that is the key. That is the key, because it opens your heart. It breaks your heart open.
Yes.
Our hearts have been closed because we've closed them. We've defended ourselves against pain. And this is the kind of things that opens them.
Opening your heart sucks. This is the thing, this is the thing Ram Dass talks about it hurts. Does it always hurt? Does opening your heart always just hurt? Or are you just in a constant state of...
No, it doesn't always hurt. But when it really cracks open, it hurts. And it does. But even the hurt transforms, because if you inquire into the hurt, what you're experiencing is love.
Right.
The real deal.
Right. I can see that. Yeah, it's very, it's right, because it's seeing newness. It's seeing how much you value life.
Yes. And the reason I look better now than I ever have is because I am more fully living.
Right.
Because I'm living and dying consciously. Simultaneously, I'm holding both.
What advice would you give to people out there who are dealing with this very thing?
I would tell them to cry when they need to cry and to turn toward this thing that's called death. Turn toward it. And even if you're afraid to turn toward it, turn toward it. It won't hurt you. And see what it has to teach you. It's a tremendous teacher, free of charge.
I don't think it'd sell a lot of goddamn tickets if it was trying to. That's a show I'm going to skip if I can. Wow.
But it's a teacher. I mean, we're talking about teachers. It's the real deal.
Yes.
And, what I find is that the closer I get to physical death, the more alive I feel, and the more present I feel, and the more real I am. And I realize that I have no idea what lies on the other side of physical death, but that there is so much aliveness that's building in me that I can't help but think there is some connection between that and the movement toward physical death.
Yeah, well,
can't explain that. I don't have an explanation for that.
Yeah, nobody knows. I from my limited experience with it, I definitely, and from run-ins with people who seem to be quite advanced, it's more like a surprise party than it is a car accident, I think. But we can never know that.
We cannot know. And we can't know, we can't know what our own death is going to be like. But I do think that we suffer more if we resist that flow of the river.
Right.
It's always flowing. That if we try to get over there to the side so that we can get on the bank and be exempt from the flow, that's where we begin to suffer more and more.
It's just letting go into that thing.
Yes. And the amazing thing about letting go into it is that you find that this thing called love is supportive, that it holds us. It has a quality of benevolence that we might have never noticed. And we ask, what's that? What is it that has a quality of benevolence? And the only word that I can come up with is reality. Reality actually has this quality of benevolence.
Yes. Right. Yes. And even benevolence is a very small word for what it is, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
It's just so intense. You know how people with autism have all these defensive reactions because they're experiencing so much more of the world?
Uh-huh.
I think that humans are autistic in their own way, in the sense that this experience of love energy is so powerful that to combat against it, we build an entire life, an entire ego to try to not feel it. Because it's just so overwhelming.
It is. It's a killer. It's ego death.
Yeah. Not desirable.
It is desirable, and that's why it hurts. It's ego death. Your heart cracks open, and your ego is dying.
Right.
But you find that ego death is a transfiguration. It's an alchemical transfiguration.
Yes. Because, who wants to carry around this fucking weight?
You don't. I don't.
Well, I love you very much, obviously.
I love you too. And Duncan, that kind of love isn't going anywhere. That's another thing you find, that I may leave this plane of existence sooner rather than later, but the love isn't going anywhere. I'm as certain of that as I am of anything.
Right. I believe you.